Before I do start this video, I want to get one thing very straight, right? I just find it insane to know that Real Madrid, are moving in a way already where they can say we're going to bring in Trent and we're also going to bring in Dean Huijsen, right? That's how I'm going to call him. I know that you pronounce it differently, but I'm just going to call him Dean Huijsen. And I find that as, once again, insane, mainly because it just seems like there is no sort of restriction on a team like Real Madrid. But you look at the other side of La Liga and you see teams like FC Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. These are teams that you just see and you're like, okay, like, are you guys going to move? Are you guys going to sign any players? With Real Madrid, they're already making multiple moves. They're already reinforcing their defense. And I don't understand why we're on May 13th, 2025, after witnessing that teams like Arsenal are strengthening their squad, Bayern Munich, Man City, Real Madrid are strengthening their squad. I find it strange to know that FC Barcelona is not in this conversation right now. Why is Real Madrid the only Spanish team right now that is able to make a lot of moves? You already have Mbappe in insane wages. You already have Vinicius in insane wages. You already have Alaba in insane wages. You have Tchouaméni in insane wages. The wage bill of Real Madrid is humongous. And you're going to tell me that you're now going to add Trent and Dean Huijsen into this squad without any sort of restriction or maybe some financial fair play rules being in place, maybe some things being broken? Zero? Like, there's literally like no noise on this? Nothing, really? But the moment FC Barcelona want to sign one player, Dani Olmo, it's like the end of the world and that we're breaking a lot of rules. It's a little strange. And I know that this video was supposed to be about Dean Huijsen and how this player does perform. Who is he? What makes him so special? But because this is a Barcelona channel, I have to give my own perspective on this through the lens of a Barcelona fan and somebody who supports Barcelona every day. Because when I support a team like Barcelona every day, I start to see what's going on in my club compared to the other clubs out there in the transfer market. And I see that Real Madrid, is a team that can move much more freely compared to FC Barcelona. We have not had a single news or piece of news in terms of Barcelona potentially going for a brand new player to reinforce our team. Zero, nothing. And I really do wonder whether, I am recording this on May 13th, 2025. Let's just see what happens in the next 2 or 3 days. Maybe this whole thing about Dean Huijsen is false, that he always prioritized going to a team like Bayern Munich or some other team. But I do wonder whether this whole thing about Real Madrid trying to sign Trent and Dean Huijsen is just all fabricated to maybe erase the amount of pain Real Madrid brought this season in terms of performance, because Real Madrid have not won a damn thing so far this season. And now what they're doing right now is media control, making it look like Real Madrid are at the top of the world, always doing the correct things, always sealing all of these deals. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just all of this is just false news. It's a false narrative trying to paint a picture that Real Madrid get everything correct. Because I wonder, right? Because why is Marca the only source confirming that Huijsen is for sure joining Real Madrid and nothing more? Why is Marca the only source? I wonder that, because I know what Marca is. I know who are the people in there. These people working in Marca, they're Real Madrid fans. And they will do anything to paint the narrative through the media to showcase that Real Madrid are doing this and they're doing that. And oh my God, Real Madrid is doing the impossible, stealing this player, stealing that player. What a functioning club. So that is my current thoughts right now, is looking at this whole transfer market and transfer window as of now on May 13th, 2025. And I'm seeing Barcelona making no movements. There's like a lot of restrictions on them, but with Real Madrid, they act like as if they are Man City and they can spend and bring whoever they do want. So those are going to be my first points. And now I do want to move on towards the actual meat of this video, which is going to be, who is this player? What makes him so special? So first of all, this is a player who is very much a admired center back, a 20-year-old center back who chose to represent the Spanish national team. And this is the thing that confuses me even more. Oh my God, I promised myself I was going to make this under 8 minutes, but I'm going to try and go for 10. If I go past 10 minutes, I'm sorry. But yeah, he chose to represent the Spanish national team over the Netherlands. He was born in the Netherlands, right, in Holland. But he chose to represent the Spanish national team because he spent more years there. Because of that, back on March 2025, Dean Huijsen made his debut for the Spanish national team against the Netherlands, which is crazy, which is the team that he used to represent on a youth level, right? And once again, it happened on March 2025. He had a wonderful performance, amazing performance. And I'm like, okay, you chose Spain over Netherlands, even though you were born in Netherlands. I would assume that as a player who was 20 years old, that the only reason why you chose Spain over Netherlands is because you want to play with the players that are in Spain, right? You wouldn't the reason why a lot of these players choose a certain national team over another national team when they have to pick from two different options is because they say, I want to join this team because they have X amount of players and they have this player, and I feel like I'll enjoy playing with that player and it's going to be a lot of fun. So when I see Dean Huijsen choosing Spain, I'm like, okay, so you chose Spain, right? I saw this back on March 2025. I kept this opinion to myself until the end of the season because I wanted to see what was going to be his future decisions and where he wanted to go next after Bournemouth. So I'm like, okay, you chose Spain. But so that means, right? That means that you chose Spain because you want to play with Balde. You chose Spain because you wanted to play with Nico Williams. You chose Spain because you wanted to play with Kobarsi, with Pedri, with Gavi, with Lamine Yamal, with Ferran Torres. When we speak about the Spanish national team today, you speak about FC Barcelona. When you speak about FC Barcelona and what makes them so special, you speak about the Spanish national team, because what fuels the Barcelona team today and why we have been so successful is the Spanish national team. There is players like Ubarsi, Balde, Eric Garcia, Ferran, Yamal, Nico. I know that Nico's not a Barcelona player, but you get my point. Gavi, Pedri, Fermin Lopez, and all of these other players, right? I would assume that, okay, so you enjoy playing with them. You chose them. So you might as well just join FC Barcelona because this is the team that you chose. So when I hear that Dean Huijsen is saying, I prefer Real Madrid and I want my camp to negotiate with Real Madrid and nothing more, it confuses me. Because you're going to go to Real Madrid and you're going to be playing with foreign players. You're not going to be playing with a team that you wanted or you chose over the Netherlands, which is the country that you were born in, bro. That's the thing, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense with me. Like, you're going to join that team and you're going to play with Militao. You're going to play with maybe Alaba. You're going to play with Asensio, right? Maybe Asensio, right? Maybe Asensio is a Spanish player. But besides that, like, where else are you going to get that? Where? Like, you're going to play with Mbappe, Vini, Tchouaméni, very foreign. And the worst thing from all of this is that I look at this player and I say, okay, you're 6'6". You're a tall ass center back. You're taller than Piqué and you're taller than Ty and you're taller than Van Dijk, which is insane to me already. You're 6'6", 198 centimeters. You are a center back and you're 2-footed. You know how to use both of your feet. You don't have a weak foot. And the best thing that you show on the field is ball playing, and you're a progressive central defender. You know how to dribble with the ball very well. You excel in that. It is amazing. And every time somebody tries to press you, you always make the correct decisions. Always. And you pass the ball very well. You're composed, etc., etc. You're also not slow at all, Dean Huijsen. You're not slow. You're actually pretty solid in terms of running back and covering a lot of space. So I look at your skill sets. I feel like I'm talking to this player. I look at your skill sets and I say, you fit at a team like FC Barcelona. It just makes much more sense than at a team like Real Madrid, where you're going to have to like see less of the ball, because Real Madrid have no interest, my friends, on retaining the ball and playing with the ball and dictating how the game should go. They have no interest. They don't care about possession. What they care about is one long ball to either Vinicius or Mbappe, and that's it. Boom, that is their football. But at a team like Barcelona, where we are a high possession style, high line defense, where we want to retain the ball, we want to play with the ball, we want to circulate the ball, we want to play the ball to the midfielders, play a long ball to either Lamine Yamal. Barcelona seems like the perfect team for a profile like him. And I am not saying that because I'm a Barcelona fan, I'm Barcelona biased. No, it just makes a lot of sense. Going to Real Madrid is just a team where you're going to have to soak up the pressure. You're just going to have to sit back and just wait for the opponent to lose the ball. That is it. They're not like, your skill sets are not going to be shown at a team like Real Madrid at all. It doesn't make any sense. You could say, oh no, but I can pass the long balls to Mbappe and stuff like that, bro. Like, that's why players like Vasquez is there. That's why players like Trent is going to be there. That's why players like Tchouaméni, Modric are all going to be there. They're going to do that for you. The only thing they're going to ask you to do is to defend well when those crosses in the air happen, and you're going to have to aerial block them because you're tall. You're 6'6" as hell. Like, Bro, like 6'6" is like hella tall. Like I can't even think of another center back that's taller than you, bro. It's insane. So I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you're gonna be making the wrong decision. Of course, you're gonna win titles at Real Madrid. Obviously, I don't want you to win La Liga. I don't want Real Madrid to win La Liga next season. I don't want them to win anything. But at the end of the day, I think that when you're 20 years old and you're making a decision like this, you really have to think about, okay, who am I? What am I good at? And what team can I go to that can for sure be able to blossom my skill sets and really grow my skill sets even more? At a team like FC Barcelona makes much more sense. You're 20 years old. So like really think about that. Unless there's one thing that I'm probably thinking about, or you're probably thinking about. Maybe you're just interested in the big money and you're interested in receiving the most wages. Maybe that is your most interest. And look, I can't blame you. I can't blame you, Dean Huijsen. You're 20 years old. You want money. You probably were poor before, like almost all football players. And I get it. I understand. Money is something that does attract a lot of players, a lot of people in general. Money rules the world. That is just how it is, and I understand that, right? If you were to ask me, yes, I would have some sort of focus on money. Even I would tell you that too. But here's the thing. If you join Barcelona now, a team that is growing day by day, season by season, I promise you, you're not going to make all the money that you want in the first 3 to 4 seasons at FC Barcelona, but you will make more than you expected to earn in about 5 to 6 years or 7 years from today with FC Barcelona. When you really strive at a team like Barcelona, you're going to end up becoming the best center back in the world. And everybody's going to adore you. Everybody's going to want to take pictures with you. You're going to have such a brand that you're going to get paid more money than you ever thought you could have earned. It just takes patience. And I understand it's hard to do that because people look for the fast money. Maybe you're just interested in that. Maybe it is the money. Maybe it's not just the sporting aspect. And I understand that. I really do get it. But, but that's it, right? Like right now, if you guys do not know, and I'm speaking to everybody here in this comment section, Dean Huijsen is very much interested in joining Real Madrid, and he's one hell of a center back. He's talented. I think that if he did have interest in joining a team like FC Barcelona, I would say, okay, sell Araujo and bring this player in. That would be the most convenient thing that Barcelona can do, and that transition is going to be amazing. From Araujo to Dean Huijsen, I would do that, and I would really build that pair at the back with Dean Huijsen and Cubarsí at the back. That could be a center back pairing that can pay us dividends for the next 15 years. They'll play together at Barcelona and in Spain. That sounds beautiful. Like, bro, like you're going to be playing with a center back that you're going to know day in, day out, and it's just going to make you look better. I don't understand. Like, you're going to be playing with Alejandro Balde too, somebody who you're going to be seeing at the Spanish national team for the World Cup of 2026, for the Euros, for whatever else you're going to be competing for. Maybe the, what's that one thing? The other competition where they have to face Argentina, I think is the Finalisma or something crazy like that. You'll be with the players that you want to, and they'll make you look good, and you make them look good. So once again, going back to the conversation that we were having, right? Dean Huijsen is a phenomenal center back. In terms of ball control and distribution, 87% pass accuracy, averages 50 passes per 90 minutes, 7.5 long balls per 90 minutes with a 62% accuracy. That is more than 50%. More. That is insane. The last time I saw somebody like this was Cubarsí. So can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine Cubarsí and Dean Huijsen in the same team in Barcelona's backline? And what's even more insane, I'm just clocking this in right now, live as hell. Dean Huijsen is 6'6", and one of the things that Barcelona really do struggle in right now is the aerial defense, right? Like learning how to defend those aerial crosses that go up against you. We have conceded so many goals that was in the air, and it's a shame because I know that right now Barcelona cannot really do anything to really stop that. And even going on to the next season, assuming that we don't sign any other center backs, because our center backs are generally like very short. They're supposed to be a little tall. They're supposed to be like around the height of Van Dijk or maybe even more. But teams like Inter, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid, they understand that. They know how to attack us, and that is through the crosses in the air. So we need a player, a center back who is taller. And Dean Huijsen is the perfect one. He's the perfect one. He has the profile, the height, his understanding with the players. This guy is the perfect puzzle to Barcelona's defense. So going back, right, he is exceptional at distinguishing long passes with either foot. He does not have a weak foot, very much like Dembélé, but on the center back position. 100% dribble success rate. glides forward from deep. He evades pressure very well. In terms of build-up play, he key initiating attacks under pressure, often whips passes to wide players, bypassing presses, particularly effective in possession-based systems. Once again, he will fit at a team like FC Barcelona. I don't understand why we have not heard a single report about Barcelona. I mean, okay, we heard reports about Barcelona proposing a bid to this player. Like, this is real. They have proposed a bid and their proposal on their sporting project on the player. But right now, there is no report about Dean Huijsen saying, I want to have further talks with FC Barcelona because I want to know more. The only thing that we have heard is that Real Madrid are favorites. They have like a 90% chance of signing this player. Barcelona have less than a 10% chance of signing the player. So in terms of his defensive abilities, he averages 10 defensive actions per 90, 75% of dual success rate, showcasing his anticipation and positional sense. The reason why Bournemouth, it was recorded back on January 25th, 2025, I believe. It was recorded around that time. The reason why Bournemouth had a great 4 to 5 months in the beginning of the season in terms of defense, because the only other great defensive teams in the Premier League was, I think it was Liverpool, and it was Manchester City. No, it was not Manchester City. It was Liverpool and some other team. I think it was Arsenal. Besides Arsenal and Liverpool, the best defensive team in the Premier League was Bournemouth. And Dean Huijsen was at the heart of that defense, right? Isn't that insane? So going back to the defensive abilities, 70 clearances in the last 8 matches, 9 tackles and 9 interceptions across the recent 8 matches, 3 yellow cards, 0 red cards, in the last 8 matches. So he's aggressive, but he does maintain availability. He's not, he's not crazy out there trying to tackle players and try to like rip their legs out. I don't know if you guys have seen like this guy's persona, or I'm not gonna say persona because persona means fake, but like his personality on the pitch and also like in interviews. This dude always looks like he's high. Like he's just high off either life or weed or high off crack or something. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. I hope I don't get banned. But like this guy always looks so high. His eyelids are so low. You can barely see his eyes. This guy just doesn't care. He even told like the media, he's like, when I see 60,000 fans looking at me, I just don't care. I literally don't care. And bro, I believe you. I see your face and you're like, bro, like you are the most chill person I have ever seen in my entire life. This guy definitely has to smoke some sort of. This guy would be best friends with Chesney if it's true that this guy like smokes weed or something, or like smokes cigarettes. Like he's chill. And I think that personality translates on the pitch. He does not get scared. He does not make mistakes. The aerial and physical presence. 57% of his aerial duels are won. That is an average of 4.26 aerial duels won per 90 minutes. Strong in the air because of his height, and he relies a lot on his height. And that is why his positioning is, I would just say, much better than his aggression, is because his height is what allows him to be in better positions all the time. He does not need to be aggressive and be like Machadano, where like you're 5'3", 5'4", and you have to be aggressive because you have nothing left. You have to what else are you gonna do? Like just like act like you're tall? No, you have to be aggressive. So, it's it's insane. So like, I don't know why I'm roasting on Machadano right now, bro, but yeah. All right, so recent performances, last 8 matches, he played 720 minutes in total, meaning that he plays every game, every minute. Those opponents did include Arsenal, Man United, West Ham, Newcastle, and other teams. And in those games, he had 1 goal against Arsenal. He provided an assist as well. 2 clean sheets versus Fulham and Crystal Palace, and averaged around 80 to 120 touches per 90 minutes, contributing in heavy build-up play. I would say, like, I have been seeing like multiple clips of this player, and I would say that there's a couple of things that there is some weaknesses that he does carry. First of all, he's not elite in 1v1 defending. He's not. So that could be a problem, but for sure he can improve on that. He's 20 years old. I think that I would also say that he needs to improve on his agility and balance and low block defending. Okay. Now this circles back to what I said in the beginning. He does need to improve on his agility, his balance, and low block defending. Real Madrid, all they do is low block. So why the hell are they trying to get a player like him, and why does he want to go to a team like Real Madrid? Because Barcelona do not do any low block defending, and that is one of his weaknesses. So I don't understand. Okay, and so the other one is going to be the timing and decision making. Sometimes it could be refined. I'm not going to say that he's really bad, because I literally just said that his decision making was really good, but it could be refined. It could be a little better. He can always improve on those aspects of the game, always. So the reason why his operation is so I would just say in high demand from a lot of clubs is because he's only going to be 50 million euros. His release clause is very cheap, and Bournemouth are doing everybody like a huge favor, and they're saying, okay, it's 50 million euros, and you guys can pay this in 3 installments. That's really good. That's like around what, like 18 million euros per installment. And that's easy for every club, even for a team like FC Barcelona. So teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Real Madrid are very interested. Same thing with FC Barcelona. They did not. I don't think they proposed like a financial bid. Like I'm talking about, like with Barcelona. I think that what they did was propose a sporting project and what he could be next to players like Kubarsi and Alejandro Balde and Eric Garcia and Jules Koundé. Right? It's beautiful. And Real Madrid did have a formal meeting with the players' camp. Huijsen did say that he prefers to stay in La Liga, which makes me think that, why doesn't Barcelona get a little more aggressive on this whole operation and see if they can figure out something? I'm pretty sure the reason why Barcelona are not even gonna put their voices out there is because Javier Tebas is saying, okay, I see that you want to bring in Dean Huijsen, but you have to sell Araujo first, or else you can't make a financial bid. I bet you it has something to do with that. So yeah, that's basically like that is my overall assessment on this center back. Very talented, for sure is going to be one of the best center backs in the world, next to Kubarsi, next to Asensio. Bro, if there's a national team that's winning right now, it's not Argentina, even though they won the World Cup and they're doing very well right now. It's not the Netherlands. It's not the French team, even though they have Mbappe and Dembele and some other players. It's not England, even though they have Trent and they have Kane and they have Bellingham and all those other players. It is Spain, dude. Spain seems like the real deal. And they're for sure going to make a huge mark in this upcoming World Cup, which I will be in. I will be there to watch the Spanish national team because it's going to be here in the U.S. and I live in California. So I'm at least going to be in 3 to 4 to 5 matches. So if you guys like want to meet up in those World Cup matches, if you guys are even there, because I understand that, it's high prices, we can do some meetups, talk, whatever. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, the Spanish national team is going to win big because of all of these players that are coming up. But like Dean Huijsen with Kubarsi and Asensio, they're set. And you add Alejandro Balde with Gavi, with Yamal and Nico and Ferran and Olmo and Fermin. And I'm sure I'm missing like other Casado, Bernal. The Spanish national team is going to win big. So that's it, right? Dean Huijsen is great in long passing, great in being press resistant, great in aerial presence, great in ball progression. His weaknesses, I would say 1v1 defending, agility, occasionally making decision-making lapses. And I think that his ceiling is so strong. It's high. It's suitable for elite teams if developed in the right tactical setup with a strong CDM partner. I think that somebody like Bernal would really complement him. So that is it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.